Rune 39 of the Kalevala. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. The Kalevala, compiled by Elias Lönnrot, translated by John Martin Crawford. Rune 39, Wainamoinen's Sailing. Wainamoinen, old and faithful, spake these words to Ilmarinen. O thou wonder-working brother, let us go to Sariola, there to gain the magic Sampo, there to see the lid in colors. Ilmarinen gave this answer: hard indeed to seize the Sampo, neither can the lid be captured from the never-pleasant Northland, from the dismal Sariola. Louhi took away the Sampo, carried off the lid in colors, to the stone mount of Pohjola, hid it in the copper mountain, where 9 locks secure the treasure. Many young roots sprout around it, grow 9 fathoms deep in sand earth, 1 great root beneath the mountain, in the cataract a second, and a third beneath the castle, built upon the Mount of Ages. Spake the ancient Wainamoinen: brother mine and wonder worker, let us go to Sariola, that we may secure the Sampo. Let us build a goodly vessel, bring the Sampo to Wainola, bring away the lid in colors from the Stoneberg of Pohjola, from the copper-bearing mountain, where the miracle lies anchored. Ilmarinen thus made answer: by the land the way is safer, Lempo travels on the ocean, ghastly death upon his shoulder. On the sea the waves will drift us, and the storm winds wreck our vessel. Then our hands must do the rowing, and our feet must steer us homeward. Spake the ancient Wainamoinen: safe indeed by land to journey, but the way is rough and trying, long the road and full of turnings. Lovely is the ship on ocean, beautiful to ride the billows, journey easy o'er the waters, sailing in a trusty vessel. Should the west wind cross our pathway, will the south wind drive us northward? Be that as it may, my brother, since thou dost not love the water, by the land then let us journey. Forge me now the sword of battle, forge for me the mighty fire sword, that I may destroy the wild beasts, frighten all the Northland people, as we journey for the Sampo, to the cold and dismal village, to the never pleasant Northland, to the dismal Sariola. Then the blacksmith Ilmarinen, the eternal forger artist, laid the metals in the furnace, in the fire laid steel and iron, in the hot coals gold and silver, rightful measure of the metals, set the workmen at the furnace, lustily they plied the bellows. Like the wax the iron melted, like the dough the hard steel softened, like the water ran the silver, and the liquid gold flowed after. Then the minstrel Ilmarinen, the eternal wonder forger, looks within his magic furnace, on the border of his oven. There beholds the fire sword forming, sees the blade with golden handle, takes the weapon from the furnace, lays it on his heavy anvil, for the falling of the hammer. Forges well the blade of magic, well the heavy sword he tempers, ornaments the hero weapon with the finest gold and silver. Wainamoinen the magician comes to view the blade of conquest, lifts admiringly the fire sword, then these words the hero utters: does the weapon match the soldier, does the handle suit the bearer? Yea, the blade and hilt are molded to the wishes of the minstrel. On the sword point gleams the moonlight, on the blade the sun is shining, on the hilt the bright stars twinkle, on the edge a horse is neighing, on the handle plays a kitten, on the sheath a dog is barking. Wainamoinen wields his fire sword, tests it on the iron mountain, and these words the hero utters: with this broadsword I could quickly cleave in twain the mount of Pohja, cut the flinty rocks asunder. Spake the blacksmith Ilmarinen: wherewith shall I guard from danger, how protect myself from evil, from the ills by land and water? Shall I wear an iron armor, belt of steel around my body? Stronger is a man in armor, safer in a mail of copper. Now the time has come to journey to the never-pleasant Northland. Wainamoinen, ancient minstrel, and his brother Ilmarinen hasten to the field and forest, searching for their fiery coursers, in each shining belt a bridle, with the harness on their shoulders. In the woods they find a racer, in the glen a steed of battle, ready for his master's service. Wainamoinen, old and trusty, and the blacksmith Ilmarinen throw the harness on the courser, hitch him to the sledge of conquest. Hasten on their journey northward, drive along the broad sea's margin, till they hear someone lamenting, on the strand hear something wailing, near the landing place of vessels. Wainamoinen, ancient minstrel, speaks these words in wonder, guessing: This must be some maiden weeping, some fair daughter thus lamenting. Let us journey somewhat nearer to discover whence this wailing. Drew they nearer, 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 hoping thus to find a maiden weeping on the sandy seashore. It was not a maiden weeping, but a vessel sad and lonely, waiting on the shore and wailing. Spake the ancient Wainamoinen: "Why art weeping, goodly vessel? What the cause of thy lamenting? Art thou mourning for thy rowlocks? Is thy rigging ill adjusted? Dost thou weep since thou art anchored on the shore in times of trouble?" Thus the war ship spake in answer: "To the waters would this vessel haste upon the well-tarred rollers, as a happy maiden journeys to the cottage of her husband. I, alas, a goodly vessel, weep because I lie at anchor, weep and wail because no hero sets me free upon the waters, free to ride the rolling billows. It was said when I was fashioned, often sung when I was building, that this bark should be for battle, should become a mighty warship, carry in my hull great treasures, priceless goods across the ocean. Never have I sailed to conquest, never have I carried booty, other vessels not as worthy to the wars are ever sailing, sailing to the songs of battle. 3 times in the summer season come they home with treasures laden, in their hulls bring gold and silver. I, alas, a worthy vessel, many months have lain at anchor, I, a warship well constructed, am decaying in the harbor, never having sailed to conquest. Worms are gnawing at my vitals, in my hull their dwelling places, and ill-omened birds of heaven build their nests within my rigging. Frogs and lizards of the forest play about my oars and rudder, 3 times better for this vessel were he but a valley birch tree, or an aspen on the heather, with the squirrels in his branches, and the dogs beneath them barking." Wainamoinen, old and faithful, thus addressed the ship at anchor: "Weep no more, thou goodly vessel, man of war, no longer murmur, thou shalt sail to Sariola, sing the war songs of the Northland, sail with us to deadly combat. Wert thou built by the Creator, thou canst sail the roughest waters, sidewise journey o'er the ocean, dost not need the hand to touch thee, dost not need the foot to turn thee, needing nothing to propel thee." Thus the weeping boat made answer: "Cannot sail without assistance, neither can my brother vessels sail unaided o'er the waters, sail across the waves undriven." Spake the ancient Wainamoinen: "Should I lead thee to the broad sea, wilt thou journey north unaided, sail without the help of rowers, sail without the aid of south winds, sail without the helm to guide thee?" Thus the wailing ship replying: "Cannot sail without assistance, neither can my brother vessels sail without the aid of rowers, sail without the help of south winds, nor without the helm to guide them." These the words of Wainamoinen: "Wilt thou run with aid of oarsmen, when the south winds give assistance, guided by a skillful pilot?" This the answer of the war ship: "Quickly can I course these waters, when my oars are manned by rowers, when my sails are filled with south winds, all my goodly brother vessels sail the ocean with assistance, when the master holds the rudder." Then the ancient Wainamoinen left the racer on the seaside, tied him to the sacred birch tree, hung the harness on a willow, rolled the vessel to the waters, sang the ship upon the broad sea, asked the boat this simple question: "O thou vessel well appearing, from the mighty oak constructed, art thou strong to carry treasures, as in view thou art commanding?" Thus the goodly ship made answer: "Strong am I to carry treasures, in my hull a golden cargo, I can bear 100 oarsmen, and of warriors 1,000." Wainamoinen the magician then began his wondrous singing. On one side the magic vessel sang he youth with golden virtues, bearded youth with strength of heroes, sang them into mail of copper. On the other side the vessel sang he silver tinseled maidens, girded them with belts of copper, golden rings upon their fingers. Sings again the great magician, fills the magic ship with heroes, ancient heroes, brave and mighty, sings them into narrow limits, since the young men came before them. At the helm himself be seated, near the last beam of the vessel, steered his goodly boat in joyance, thus addressed the willing war ship: "Glide upon the trackless waters, sail away my ship of magic, sail across the waves before thee, speed thou like a dancing bubble, like a flower upon the billows." Then the ancient Wainamoinen set the young men to the rowing, let the maidens sit in waiting. Eagerly the youthful heroes bend the oars and try the rowlocks, but the distance is not lessened. Then the minstrel Wainamoinen set the maidens to the rowing, let the young men rest in waiting. Eagerly the merry maidens bend the aspen oars in rowing, but the distance is not lessened. Then the master Wainamoinen set the old men to the rowing, let the youth remain in waiting. Lustily the aged heroes bend and try the oars of aspen, but the distance is not lessened. Then the blacksmith, Ilmarinen, grasped the oars with master magic, and the boat leaped o'er the surges, swiftly sped across the billows. Far and wide the oars resounded, quickly was the distance lessened. With a rush and roar of waters, Ilmarinen sped his vessel, benches, ribs, and rowlocks creaking, oars of aspen far resounding. Flap the sails like wings of moorcocks, and the prow dips like a white swan. In the rear it croaks like ravens, loud the oars and rigging rattle. Straightway ancient Wainamoinen, sitting by the bending rudder, turns his magic vessel landward, to a jutting promontory, where appears a Northland village. On the point stands Lemminkainen, Kaukomieli, black magician, Ahti, wizard of Wainola, wishing for the fish of Pohja, weeping for his fated dwelling, for his perilous adventures, hard at work upon a vessel, on the sail yards of a fishboat, near the hunger point and island, near the village home deserted. Good the ears of the magician, good the wizard's eyes foreseeing, casts his vision to the southeast, turns his eyes upon the sunset, sees afar a wondrous rainbow, farther on a cloudlet hanging, but the bow was a deception, and the cloudlet a delusion. 'Tis a vessel swiftly sailing, 'tis a warship flying northward, over the blue back of the broad sea, on the far extending waters. At the helm the master standing, at the oars a mighty hero. Spake the reckless Lemminkainen, "Do not know this wondrous vessel, not this well-constructed warship, coming from the distant Suomi, rowing for the hostile Pohja." Thereupon wild Lemminkainen called aloud in tones of thunder o'er the waters to the vessel, made the distant hills re-echo with the music of his calling. "Whence this vessel on the waters, who's the warship sailing hither?" Spake the master of the vessel to the reckless Lemminkainen. "Who art thou, from fen or forest, senseless wizard from the woodlands, that thou dost not know this vessel, magic warship of Wainola? Dost not know him at the rudder, nor the hero at the rowlocks?" Spake the wizard Lemminkainen, "Well I know the helm director, and I recognize the rower. Wainamoinen, old and trusty, at the helm directs the vessel, Ilmarinen does the rowing. Whither is the vessel sailing, whither wandering, my heroes?" Spake the ancient Wainamoinen, "We are sailing to the Northland, there to gain the magic Sampo, there to get the lid in colors, from the Stoneberg of Pohjola, from the copper-bearing mountain." Spake the evil Lemminkainen, "O thou good old Wainamoinen, take me with thee to Pohjola, make me third of magic heroes, since thou goest for the Sampo, goest for the lid in colors. I shall prove a valiant soldier when thy wisdom calls for fighting, I am skilled in arts of warfare." Wainamoinen, ancient minstrel, gave assent to Ahti's wishes. Thereupon wild Lemminkainen hastened to Wainola's warship, bringing floats of aspen timber to the ships of Wainamoinen. Thus the hero of the Northland speaks to reckless Lemminkainen: "There is aspen on my vessel, aspen floats in great abundance, and the boat is heavy laden. Wherefore dost thou bring the aspen to the vessel of Wainola?" Lemminkainen gave this answer: "Not through caution sinks a vessel, nor a haystack by its proppings. Seas abound in hidden dangers, heavy storms arise and threaten, fell destruction to the sailor that would brave the angry billows." Spake the good old Wainamoinen, "Therefore is this warlike vessel built of trusty steel and copper, trimmed and bound in toughest iron, that the winds may not destroy it, may not harm my ship of magic." End of Rune 39. Recording by Kyle Robb.